Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I explore the worlds of real estate investing. In today's episode, and I will be discussing critical topics, what investors look for when selecting a home to renovate. If you're interested in flipping homes or working with an investor, this video is for you. So let's just dive right in. One of the first things investors consider when selecting a home to renovate is the location. A desirable location can significantly impact resale value of the property. Investors look for neighborhoods with good schools, proximity to the amenities, low crime rates, and strong economic growth. They also consider the neighborhood's overall appeal and potential for future development. So conducting a thorough market analysis for critical investors, analyzing the current real estate trends, supply, demand, dynamics, and comparable sales in the area. By understanding these local markets, investors can determine the potential point margins, ensuring that all of their investment decisions are made correctly. The condition of the property is another important factor. Investors look for homes that require cosmetic upgrades or moderate renovations rather than a major structural repair. They prefer properties with good bones, as it reduces costs and allows for a quicker, turnaround time. However, experienced investors will dabble into a more deep dive renovation where you're going down to the studs. Of course, profit is another factor because they don't want to underestimate or overestimate on a resale value. So I wanted to share with you an experience that I had when working with an investor. It actually was my first closing with an investor. And my client comes to the closing table without the necessary funds, but has 3 days grace period to produce the funds before the deal falls through. Whew. So it's commonly referred to as a funding gap or a funding shortfall. So in this situation, the investor has a limited time frame to secure the required funds and fulfill their financial obligation for the transaction to proceed successfully. It's critical for the investor to act promptly and find alternative resources of funding within the given time frame. A lot of the times they want a wholesale, and what happens is they're convincing an investor to buy the property that they just agreed that they're closing in 2 days. So it's a little crazy. Investors actually consider more extensive renovations if they have the backing of contractors and they have a really good third-party source to use when taking on these properties. Because a renovation cost and the expected resale value is something that they have to consider, and they just want to make sure that they tackle on a big project that has to be taken down to the studs or needs a new septic or needs a new well. It's not going to be a quick flip. It's going to be something that they're going to have over time, and they need to financially be able to support that project. So we've got investors that look for deals that are short and quick. All they want to do is change flooring and paint the walls and call it a day. And honestly, in today's market, that's really kind of hard to find. In the state of New Jersey, where we're finding the properties that investors are interested in are in areas that do not have a strong economic growth. There's not enough business to support the residential community, and so it tends to be lower value homes. Millville is a great location for that. Pleasantville, Bridgeton. These are the places that my investors are looking at. Hamilton actually is a very nice Italian and Spanish town, and I love it there. It's got great stores, but it also is a rural area, and the homes are older and they need updating, and so this is a target area that investors find there's potential in. So yeah, you never know where an investor is going to take you. I currently right now am waiting for a septic permit to be approved. And I was just told it is, and we're going to go and schedule the septic install. And as soon as that's done, I'll have a timeline of when my investor's property will be ready to list. So you do want to wait until all these things are complete, because especially with septic and wells, you're waiting on the environmental health department to make all the approvals on the permits, and that can delay things. So you don't want someone to fall in love with a home and then always delaying closing date because of the septic. You're waiting to that for completion. So better off, get it all done, shine and show this house in its best form, and get it sold. That's really that's the fun part about all this, is just watching them take a house that has been neglected or even completely hoarded. I can't even tell you how many times you have to get a clean out crew to come in. Right now I have a bank-owned property, and that bank-owned property, I have to go through all my tasks that the bank asks me to do. And this is interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but when you have a bank-owned property as an agent, you're assigned. You have responsibilities to do, which they call tasks. So the first thing to do is I go to the property, assess the property, and I let them know, are there any broken windows? Are there any exposed accesses to get into the home? Because we have to secure the house. So my most recent one was, it didn't have a door. It had a screen door, but it didn't have a door per se. So they came the next day. They hired someone, a locksmith, to come and put locks on all the doors. And some of the doors were very antiquish, so I did make that known to them that the doors are expensive to replace and they are historic to the home. And they were very careful of just putting a minor lock on the door, easy to repair when the new owner takes place. So, but they do have to hire a dumpster and a clean out crew, because the shed, the 2-car garage, is filled to the max. The attic did have some things. So my responsibility is to go through and let them know if there's anything of value left behind, how much is left behind, and what I think the total value of everything. Does the grass need to be cut? Is there trees in the way? So many things to consider with a bank-owned property. But in the end, one of the things to remember, the bank does an appraisal on this. They take the appraised value, and that's what they're going to put in the MLS. So if it appraises for $300,000, the MLS is going to say they want $300,000, and they go from there. The bank also doesn't make a decision on an offer for the first 10 days. The bank doesn't reduce the price until 25 to 30 days in. And if there's no offers at that time, then my job is to do another price comparison for the home, and then they'll evaluate from there. But a lot of the times that price reduction doesn't occur until 30 days in. And it's not going to be that much. It's probably only going to be maybe 10,000 tops. So, but we are really not seeing that much right now. I mean, people from the woodwork, from North Jersey, Central Jersey, all those investors are coming down this way, and they're just hitting South Jersey. For any time something hits the market, it's just going like hotcakes because of the low inventory, and these contractors want to keep work going. They're looking for a lot of properties. There's a lot of them and very little homes. So they're like vultures when it comes to a bank-owned property. So unless that bank-owned property is an environmental disaster, no, that's not the case. But because no one wants to deal with septic well and oil tank. That would be an environmental disaster. And there we have it. When working with investors on house renovation projects, you must consider factors like location and market analysis, profit, potential renovation, feasibility, and return on your investment. My understanding these key aspects, you can better position yourself to attract investors, embark in successful renovation ventures, and that's what you want. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and comment, subscribe to my channel for more insight and content. As always, if you have any suggestions, questions for the future topics, feel free to let me know. Happy renovating!